And this looks okay. Anken Ma'at, Anken Ma'at, Anken Ma'at. Welcome to Kemetic Ascension for July 4th, 2021. I'm so happy that you're here with us. And I know that you knew that simply because this United States decides to celebrate its quote unquote independence, that we would still be here. We don't get deterred by these holidays, by these days that commemorate certain events in the history of the United States. So we are here. So I would really love to hear from you at the outset of this amazing spiritual gathering called Kemetic Ascension. I would like to hear where in the world you are and how long you have been part of Kemetic Ascension. By now, you know the drill. We've asked you this question many times over the course of our gatherings, especially during the pandemic. And as things actually are now opening up, we still want to hear where you are. We are still here coming to you primarily digitally, primarily over the internet. And we want to know that our voices are larger than the Shrine of Ma'at's edifices, larger than the village of Harlem, larger than New York City, larger than the United States. Please let us know where you are in the world. Give us a wonderful, wonderful Kemetic shout out. So can we hear Anika? Where are we right now?
So we have Abu Jamar in the house.
Abu Jamar is there. What's up, Abu Jamar? Hopefully, we'll see if we'll see you later. We'll see. Anika is telling me that the one thing that we should do, and here's the thing, folks, let me just say this. We have not celebrated the 4th of July in ever. I mean, I don't think even as a child I've particularly celebrated it. But we do go to the International African Arts Festival in Brooklyn this weekend. We always do. So we might actually end up there a bit later. So Abu Jamar, I know you're planning to go with the family. Hopefully we'll see you there.
Sanette Anna.
Sanette Anna, who is always with us, a member of the Hemsanu. I hope all is well. I hope your mother is doing well. And hopefully we'll see you soon.
Sanette Tanya, one of our initiates.
Sanette Tanya, one of the new initiates. Wonderful. One of the new full members, I should say. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
We have Seti Ankpata from Guyana.
Wow, Seti Ankpata from Guyana. My mother's home, my maternal homeland. Really? So there are Kemetic people in Guyana. I really do need to come and meet you. Wonderful.
Sanette Olivia, another member of the shrine.
Yes, wonderful. Welcome, Sanette Olivia.
Sentuti Forever.
Yes, Sentuti Forever out in Phoenix, Arizona. Our good brother who's doing good work, who we hope to do much, much more with. And hopefully he will assist us in a very large way with our first foray onto the West Coast. Let's just say that. It's wonderful that you're here. You always are. I mean.
So Sanette Michelle from Boston, Mass.
We have Boston, Mass in the house. That's Sanette Michelle, that's Michelle Mendez, I believe. Calling out your government, aren't I?
Sorry, Mitchell Guest. All right, Mitchell Guest. I pronounced it wrong.
Forgive
me for that.
Okay.
Sanette Tanya wanted to mention she's from Lithonia, Georgia.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember writing down Lithonia, Georgia. Anken Ma'at to you.
We have Burgess Taylor from Vegas.
Vegas in the house. Go ahead.
You should be seeing Jabari's new game show out there in Vegas.
Yes. The Africana History Network is going to be airing there.
History Challenge.
Africana History Challenge.
Yeah.
Jabari is working on about 4 hours sleep. So
we have Derek Grant.
Wonderful. Welcome. From where?
Doesn't say.
Okay.
Robin Taylor. I'm assuming this is somebody that we already know from DC.
Cool. Say it again.
Robin Taylor. Sanette Robin Taylor from DC.
It sounds very familiar.
Yes. Sanette Abnike out in the Gambia.
Wonderful. Greetings in the Gambia. Sinet Adenike, please let us know what time it is there so we can get a sense of where you are.
Derek Grant is from Columbus, Ohio.
Wonderful. Ohio in the house.
Okay, Chloe from Tennessee.
Welcome, welcome.
Wendy from Sanford, Florida. Roddy Anderson from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
All over the country. And of course, Sinet Adenike, who is one of our good full members, actually is now the furthest away in the Gambia.
Yes, Donald Flournoy, New York.
Yes, Donald Flournoy, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a minute because of the pandemic, of course.
Corey Green, hey, Andrew Corey, so he's
Ankh and Ma'at.
by way of Delta, Mississippi, by way of the ancestors.
Are you from Mississippi? How come I don't remember that? You remember that that Sen Corey was from Mississippi?
No.
We still have much to learn about our good full member who's doing incredible work. Wonderful, wonderful.
Sunette Tashini is in the house.
Welcome, welcome, and we'll see you shortly as we make our journey to the motherland as well.
We have Dynamite Reacher from St. Louis, Missouri.
Ankh and Ma'at, St. Louis in the house. Oh, so he's been watching for a long time.
Forgive me if I pronounce this incorrectly. Kelly Sarah from, or Sekou from Canada.
Wonderful, wonderful. Ankh and Ma'at. We got Canada in the house.
Okay, trying to reach us. You gotta email us. I'll put the email.
He's been trying to reach us?
Yeah.
And you can certainly email us at jed@shrineofma'at.org or at ma'at@shrineofma'at.org. Both of those work very well. Just send us an email.
Sunette Demetra.
Always in the house. Go ahead. Ankh and Ma'at. Where's Sunette Demetra from again? I'm trying to remember. Isn't she near Georgia? Am I saying that wrong? I'm trying to remember where you are. I know you're on the East Coast, but you're further south from us. It's wonderful. It was amazing to be able to see you for the head keperer for our whole Old Pet Festival weekend.
Okay, we have Jehutimus OG the fourth in the house.
Right down the block.
And he says, happy 20th wedding anniversary.
Yes, our 20th wedding anniversary is this Wednesday. You should know. Yes. And of course, I want to say, I believe Jehutimus was at the wedding. I think he was there. He looked a lot different, as you could imagine. It's 20 years ago, but I'm pretty sure he was there. Ankh and Ma'at to you. Ankh and Ma'at.
David Witter from Wales, UK.
Ankh and Ma'at, Wales, UK.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And then Keita Rochberg from South Africa.
Wow.
I'm saying that correctly.
Okay, I think South Africa is a bit further away than the Gambia. Sinet Adenike has some real good company on the continent.
Oh, there's one else named Saeed Kamal from Bloomington, Indiana.
Wonderful. Ankh and Ma'at to Bloomington.
Thanks for the anniversary shout out, Corey. Ankh and Ma'at to Monique Colbert, one of our favorites out in Cincinnati.
She's always here with us. Ankh and Ma'at.
Every time I'm looking at her Facebook page.
Yes.
She's a
baker extraordinaire. Absolutely.
Sunette Cheryl Lee.
Sunette Cheryl Lee is always here. And she will travel and be with the shrine whenever she can. I cannot tell you how wonderful it was to see you for the Old Pet weekend. We missed you. You look like you're in great health. We're so happy that you're here with us.
Shout out to Michael Brown. Tell us where you're from. We have Anika says it's 4 p.m. in the Gambia.
Oh, wow.
For the Gaston Bryant from Arizona.
Always with us. Ankh and Ma'at. Send Gaston.
Cert Monique out in Texas.
And send Gaston. I don't remember where in Arizona you're at. Please let us know.
Yeah, Monique is traveling with us this year, so we'll see her.
Monique who? Colbert?
No. It's another one.
Oh, Ankh and Ma'at.
Yes. And then Carol McClear from Mount Vernon, McCleary.
Ankh and Ma'at and Sinet Monique, we look forward to seeing you in the motherland. That's going to be amazing. Well, obviously, we'll see you in New York first, but we'll see you in the motherland. That's amazing.
Michael Brown is from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Wow.
We have Ajamo Tiembe. Hey, how's it going out in California? Inglewood.
Good to hear from you, brother.
Yeah. And then we have Winston Gordon from California, born in Jamaica.
Wow, go ahead. Sounds like a lot of people are on today, huh?
Yeah, Haru Asar out in Dallas, Texas.
Wonderful.
Marquita Jeffrey.
Wonderful. Uncle Mahat
says Douglasville, Georgia.
Yeah, I know she was in Georgia. See? I got that right. I'm not too sleepy.
Well, good. At least you got that right. You always get a name wrong, though.
Demetra? No, I'm not saying Demetria anymore. It's Demetra. Demetra is one of my favorite members.
And you got Rhonda Brown, who's also traveling with us, who's out in Harker Heights, Texas.
Wonderful, wonderful. Texas in the house. Uncle Mahat.
Yes. Thank you for the anniversary shout outs, everybody.
And folks, we're going to be in the motherland. We will be in Kemet in less than a month. We are daunted. We will be in Kemet in less than a month. Yes. And we are ecstatic that we'll be there. We will probably try, if we can, to go live at some point to talk to you from the motherland. I think that would be amazing. That would be wonderful. And we'll have some members of the Shrine Mob will be with us as well. Yeah. And that's going to be absolutely, I can't even tell you how wonderful that will be. We did not get to travel to the motherland last year, so being able to travel there this year is going to be amazing.
Jersey says, yes, he was at the wedding and he still has the CD.
He was? You still have the CD? What? Can you tell that this is a long time ago? We made a CD of some of our favorite songs that described our relationship. So he still has the CD. I remember seeing him sitting there. That's what I remember, even though on the video, because I'm telling you, the reception was a blur. It really was a blur. So, yeah.
We have a new member here, a new watcher. Nadia from Toronto, Canada.
Wonderful. Welcome, Sinette Nadia. It is wonderful that you are here with us.
Okay, we have Jay in the house. We have Marquita says she's from Springfield, Ohio. We have a lot of people from Ohio in the house.
Go ahead, Ohio.
Neferka is in the house. Good to see you.
Wow.
Over Delaware.
Yes, one of our new members, new full members, Uncle Mahat.
Yes. The Chafers are here. How you doing? Thanks for anniversary shout.
Uncle Mahat.
Ronchi Smith from Dallas, Texas. A lot of people from Texas.
Yeah. You know, I should say to you, one of the reasons why we want to know where you are is because we are going to be branching out soon, and the Shrine of Mahat is going to be looking to put some places together so that we'll be able to be with you as well. So we can't wait.
When Cobra says, I'm coming and joining soon. I'm holding you to it. We've been trying to get you in here. She says, I promise. I just have getting a handle on the business thing.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
Space waiting for you.
Yes. You should be a full member because you've been with us the whole time.
Yes. And San Jason Holmes, always with us from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Always with us, San Jason. Welcome. Lincoln, Nebraska in the house.
Demetra says she wishes she'd come with us this year. We return to school, but then next year I'm going. So.
Wonderful. I can't wait for you to come. I can't wait.
And also, we're going to be in Ghana as well. And
yes.
We'll get to see the foundation of our new home.
Yes. I don't know if we talked about this here, but we have started construction on a home in Ghana. And our plan is to actually create a neighborhood of diasporan and continental Africans there. We're working with 2 amazing chiefs who we have close relationships with, and we have started work on our home. It's going to be the first one in this neighborhood, so we're excited. We're excited. Who said that that Kemites don't recognize that most of us are West Africans? Whenever you hear those things, recognize how ridiculous that is, please.
We have Jennifer Carol Johnson from San Diego, California.
Uncle Mahat.
And Jason Holmes says he's going to join you in class in September.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to it.
So people look on.
We have classes coming up. We have 3 Millennia of Excellence, the history of ancient Kemet coming up. And we will also be having the Sable Struggle, the history of Africans in the United States also coming up as well. And the Metanetter course. Anika's teaching Metanetter. She taught it last year, teaching it again this year. You should know that it's unusual for her to really do it every year. You all have convinced her to do it. because she just likes to run it every few years, but she does need to do it every year. So it's amazing, wonderful, and thank you so much.
Oh wow. Ramutef Geb is in the house.
Go ahead, Ramutef Geb, Ankin Ma'at. I don't think I've heard that name before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Ramutef Geb, it's wonderful that you're there. Where are you? Keb.
Yes.
Where are you? Where are you? Let us know, please.
George Montgomery is here. Thanks for the anniversary. Shout out.
Ankin Ma'at. Lots of folks.
And Dwa for the donations from Dion Liz and from Demetra Bryant. We so appreciate you.
Ankin Ma'at, Dion Liz, we know that is the son of Send Tehuti Forever out in Phoenix, Arizona. Dwa, it is wonderful that you're there. I'm so happy that you are.
Oh, one of our other members, Sen Alimayo.
Wonderful. One of the new full members of the Shrine of Ma'at. Wonderful. By the way, so many of you have been asking how to become members of the Shrine of Ma'at. First of all, you should know there are tons of people in the room right now who can certainly talk to you about that. But you should also know that we're going to probably issue the application sometime in December or January. We're going to begin again in March. So you should know that, or late February or March is when the next group will begin. So please be ready and on the lookout.
That's right. Oh, and Ramutef is out in Pittsburgh, PA.
Wonderful. Pittsburgh in the house.
Oh, the Schaefer says, we look forward to seeing you here in Ghana.
Oh, the Schaefers are in Ghana?
Yes, tell us who you are, where in Ghana.
And where in Ghana you are, sure. We would love to see you there. Wow.
Yes, and those who are interested in becoming members, we will have our applications out in November, and we will have our next initiation next February, March.
February, March. It'll probably be out in December, folks.
Okay.
We could put it out in November. I mean, there's nothing that stops us from doing it early. There's nothing that stops us from doing it early. In fact, honestly, it's the same application that's on the website right now. There's nothing wrong with you submitting the application early as well. Because then we'll screen you, we do interviews, we interview everyone so that we know that the Shrine of Ma'at is the proper home for you and that you are the proper member of this family. And so we're looking forward to having another robust group of initiates come through. The last group, Kepu Ma'at, is exciting. I'm so happy that they are with us now. And I cannot wait to see how the year shapes up with the Shrine of Ma'at family doing some important things. So I think that that's a.
Join your class.
Who says this?
Your history class, your African American history
Who's
class.
this?
Demetra.
Oh, wonderful. Ankin Ma'at, I'm glad.
And shout out to Nasir and Gregory Allen from Spain.
Wonderful. Wow, Spain. I don't think we hear that very often. Ankin Ma'at.
Brother Garrick is in the house.
Brother Garrick, say, please give lots of myrrh and light to your queen, Lisa, who is probably sitting there somewhere around you too. It's good to hear you're there.
And we have a question already. It says, I like Kemet, but can we really trust that this is being the truth or just some man's philosophy? Is it free to say that we don't know?
I think that one of the things that you have to recognize is whenever we have the opportunity, we draw directly from those things that our ancestors have written, those practices that our ancestors have codified, and we attempt to do what we can in the modern world that is completely coherent and in line with what our ancestors did in the ancient world. I think that if you partake in Kemetic Ascension and you absolutely engage in the things that the Shrine of Ma'at are doing, you're going to notice that so much of what we're doing, we're drawing directly from the traditions of our ancestors. It's not just that we're trying to just figure out what they did. There are some gaps and things that we need to figure out, but they left so much behind. Millions and millions of pages they left behind. We are drawing from that. So we're not just saying we like how a picture of an artifact looks, and so that's who we're going to be. We are able to absolutely use our ancestors' word as our divine inspiration. That is what we do. So with that response, I gave you a long answer, The answer is yes, it is the truth. And stay tuned. You're going to find out a lot more about our traditions, our way. And as you do that, you should see that we are trying to be completely faithful to that ancient tradition. Now, that doesn't mean that we have not added things. Would you expect that nothing should be added to the Kemetic tradition that came into existence over 5,000 years ago? I don't think that you should expect that, particularly because the world has also changed. And so the things that we do also need to change and adapt for the times that we're in. But clearly, I will absolutely argue to you that because we are using the traditions of our ancestors as they described, that what we are doing is in congruence, in divine congruence with our ancient traditions.
And shout out to Brother Cleo Ford.
Ah, Sen Cleo is there, a member of Rock Ascension. Wonderful. Dua, dua, dua for coming. And it was great seeing you and I think your mate was there, right? Didn't I meet your mate? I think I did. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Wow. So the Chafers are from Dallas, Texas, and they relocated to Greater Accra
Permanently?
months ago. Yeah.
Wow. Please send us your, could you send us an email? Because we don't plan to live in Ghana permanently, but we will probably be going back and forth to Ghana several times a year and perhaps staying there for months at a time. And so we would love to meet more of those diasporan Africans that are in Ghana. Ghana is really our second home, I think, is what it's going to look like. And so we're really excited about that.
Okay, shout out to Tracy from Indianapolis.
Yes.
Virgo Venom.
Ankin Ma'at to Virgo Venom, who's always there.
Antonio Lattimore from.
Now, Virgo Venom is one of our new initiates, right? Isn't she? Is that the Tracy that's one of our initiates? Send that Tracy, can you let us know? Because I know we have two Tracys that are new initiates. And I know that Virgo Venom is always with us. I'm just not sure if I'm trying to remember if Virgo Venom is the same. Anyway, let us know.
I don't think so. Tracy Walker, she's going to advance donation.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your donation.
Who's Tracy Walker? Virgo Venom. Okay. Ankin Ma'at, thank you. You have you've been with us a lot over the last year and a half or more. So dua, dua, dua. Well, let's get it moving. We had a lot of people in the house, and we want you to know that Kemetic Ascension is not something that you are seeing that has simply been recorded for your later enjoyment. This is an interactive gathering. We are here together. The pandemic does not stop us. Regional borders do not stop us. National borders do not stop us. We will gather to galvanize the divine echo, the voice of our ancestors who have been much maligned and much misrepresented. We know that we must continue to rectify the names of our African ancestors. And that is why we're here. That is why we need to know where you are. That's why we need you all to know that you might feel like you're the strange one in your friend group, in your neighborhood, in your family. You are not strange. You are simply hearkening to the call of ancient Africa. It is amazing to hear all the places that you are so that you know that you are not alone. We are together and we will be stronger. So, you know that as we start Kemetic Ascension, we always started with that ceremony that was brought into its current existence by our elder, Baba Heru Ankh Ra Samad Se Pata. And as we do this ceremony, this ritual that is known as the opening of the way, we hope that you will join us. Stand. So many of you have done this many times with us. Stand in the position of adoration. This is not theater. This is time. It is time for you to join us and do this. Stand with your left foot a bit further forward than your right foot, like you've taken a stride. And then expose your palms in front of you. You know that this is the way that you can perceive energy. Expose your palms in front of you and put the left hand a bit further forward than the right hand. And the left hand can also be a bit higher up than the right hand. This is what many today call the position of adoration. You will both be giving and receiving divine energy. And so stand in the position that our ancestors displayed to us for thousands of years, as we do that ceremony known as the opening of the way. We're going to start by taking a deep breath. Please take it from your stomach, and then we're going to chant the divine word of everlasting life, Ankh. Let us do this together.
Anetrak in bedhet.
Anetrak in bedhet.
Nuke in bedhet.
Nuke in bedhet. Anetrak hapi.
Anetrak hapi.
Nuke hapi.
Nuke hapi.
Twal winter.
Twal winter.
Turn with us.
Anetrak serket.
Anetrak serket.
Nuke serket.
Nuke serket. Anetrak kebsenu.
Anetrak kebsenu.
Nuke kebsenu.
Nuke kebsenu.
Twal winter.
Twal winter. Anetrak as.
Anetrak as.
Nuke as.
Nuke ast. Anetrak amset.
Anetrak amset.
Nuke amset.
Nuke amset.
Twal winter.
Twal winter. Anetrak neat.
Anetrak neat.
Nuke neat.
Nuke neat. Anetrak dwamutef.
Anetrak dwamutef.
Nuke dwamutef.
Nuke dwamutef.
Twal winter.
Twal winter. Anetrak newt.
Anetrak newt.
Nuke newt.
Nuke newt. Anetrak geb.
Anetrak geb.
Nuke geb.
Nuke geb.
Twal winter.
Twal winter.
Anetrak shoe.
Anetrak shoe.
Shoe. Shoe. Shoe. Shoe. Nuke shoe.
Anetrak tefnut.
Anetrak tefnut.
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 Tefnut. Tefnut. Tefnut. Nuke tefnut. Twal winter. Anetrak paut in teru. Nuke paut in teru. Anetrak and boo in teru. Nuke and boo in teru. Twal winter. Take your breath. Twal winter. Dwa, 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 dwa. Thank you. Thank you for absolutely doing this amazing ceremony that once again was brought back into its current form by our elder, Baba Heru Ankh Ra Samad Sepatan. So we got the question whether we know this is the truth or this is simply something that we have, the way I at least interpreted the question is that, is this simply something that we constructed, or is this something our ancestors would have done? And let me say to you that this is a good example of something that we have added. But as we've added this, it comes directly out of the worldview of our Kemetic ancestors. You'll actually hear us calling the names of the Neteru, the divine energies, the divine forces, in each of the areas that they should be situated in. These come from what are often called, erroneously, the Canopic Jars. The Canopic Jars. We should know that these are actually the Mesu Heru. And so as we call these names, and the protectresses that must keep in balance and keep in good order each of the male deities, you'll recognize that this ceremony is something that has, yes, been added, but is clearly being added in exactly the way that our ancestors would have recognized it. And so this is important. We must recognize that we are doing those things that we believe our ancestors would both recognize and absolutely be pleased by. And so that is what we do. Okay, at this part of our gathering, we go into what we call Hesi. And Hesi is joyous, harmonious renditions of our tradition, glorious renditions that we could call song or affirmation. And so I want us to definitely recognize the power of Hesi. Hesi allows you to galvanize particular energies for your use. This is important. So today we decided that we would do what is called the root pool. You might have, if you are a regular participant, a regular member of Kemetic Ascension, you will recognize that one of the affirmations we often cite, we generally just call root pool. And you should know that it means something similar to, I am a shining being dwelling in the light, created from the limbs of divinity. That's how it should be recognized. And this comes directly from our ancient Kemetic text. So we are doing Hesi, song, affirmation, based on these words that our ancestors wrote. Now, let me say this to you. There's nothing wrong with writing our own words, our own affirmations. But we think that it is also powerful to call directly from those things that our ancestors have done. So the words in the Kemetic language are Rupu, Nuku, Amiku, Kemam Keperu, and Inter Ayu. Those are the words. And I should say that one of our wonderful members of the Wenwet, Abu Kepra, actually put this tune together. And certainly we have heard the members of the Hesi team sing it powerfully. And so we say dua to Abu Kepra, we say dua to the Hesi team for putting this into its current form. You'll hear very often Abu Mahert sing it valiantly and joyously. I can almost hear her voice singing it right now. I know the other day when we were talking about Hesi, Anika and I said, oh, what is the tune for Rupu? And another one of the priests, the number one of the Wenwet, Abu Wasaret, came in and gave us the tune. It is a Shrine of Ma'at special, let's call it that. And so it's so powerful that we can do it together. So here's the tune. Are you ready? It goes, Rupu Nuku Amuku Keman Keperu in Intehalu. And then we say Anku Jasene, which means life, strength, and health. It is a very common greeting, a very common affirmation, a very powerful bit of Hekau, or words of power, that our ancestors spoke. So again, Rupu Nuku Amuku Keman Keperu in Intehalu. Anku Jasene. Rupu Nuku Amuku Keman Keperu and Intehalu Uncle Jasene. Rupu Nuku Amuku Keman Keperu and Intehalu Uncle Jasene. Shining, shining being, dwelling in the light, created from the limbs of divinity. I am a shining, shining being, dwelling in the light, created from the limbs of divinity. Rupu Nuku Amiku Keman Keperu Netehau Uncle Jasene. Rupu Nuku Amiku Keman Keperu and Intehalu Uncle Jasene. Rupu Nuku Amiku Keman Keperu and Intehalu Uncle Jasene. I am a shining, shining being, dwelling in the light, created from the limbs of divinity. I am a shining, shining being, dwelling in the light, created from the limbs of divinity. Akru Ruku Amiku Keman Keperu and Intehalu Uncle Josenem, Rupu Nuku Amiku Keman Keperu, and Inted Hau, Uncle Josenem, Uncle Josenem, Uncle Josenem, Uncle Josenem. That is one of the tunes, one of the Hesi that you will hear at the Shrine of Ma'at. Dwa, dwa, dwa.
It's the Kemetic anthem.
Yeah, listen. This is one of those tunes. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. And I love that it occurs in both the Kemetic language and English. Keep in mind that it is powerful when you are able to connect to the absolute terms, the things that you will hear. And I'm so pleased that the Hesi team has put it together. Hopefully you'll take these tunes and use them in your life. They're the kind of thing that you should be able to absolutely draw from so that you can do the important work that the ancestors have chosen, have selected, have literally hewn you to do. There is a reason why you have come to the physical plane, beloved. And hopefully Hesi will allow you to galvanize divine energy so you can use it in your life. So I'm so pleased that you absolutely shared in that with us. I hope that you will remember it, the Rupu. You'll often hear us cite it as well. Dwa, dwa, dwa. Well, at this point in our gathering, we always go into what we call a word from the Sebayit. And you should know that the Sebayit is essentially the wisdom literature of our Kemetic ancestors. The wisdom literature, Sebayit, it means, it refers to a body of literature that was created by our ancestors thousands of years ago to help us understand how to live a divine life. And so today, what I'd like to do is not actually draw from the actual writing of our ancestors, not today at least. I think it should not be lost on us that we are here on a day that many would see as a holiday, that we are here on a day when many in the United States in particular would actually be out grilling food and setting off fireworks and waving red, white, and blue flags of the United States all over the place. And as descendants of those people who were brought to these shores in chains, we must ask this fundamental question today. The day that so many people have taken off, the day that so many people are relaxing with family, the day that so many people believe we should be absolutely remembering an important event in the history of the United States. But I must ask you, how should Africans in the Americas view July 4th? How should African Americans view the 4th of July? And I want to talk briefly about this today, because clearly, if we are not able to draw inspiration, to better understand, to better place in context the events, the activities of our daily routine, by looking at them through the lens of our ancestors, then we are not doing this thing we call spirituality correctly. And so it is of critical importance for us to, on a day like today, speak to the history of July 4th. Because I know that many of you have joined here with us, and I am so honored that you are here. But you may be feeling the pull, the draw of your family and friends that are saying, hey, you coming to the barbecue? Maybe you're one of the folks up early in the morning, late at night actually, popping off fireworks today, yesterday, or today. Is that something that people of African descent should do? How should we view this day? Let's talk about it. And as we begin, I hope you recognize these images. Take a look at these Black folks looking so determined and serious on the right. And they have painted a power fist on the flag of the United States. They are making a commentary. And on the left, you are seeing the image, the face of a very important ancestor. Please tell me, who is this ancestor on the left? You should know who he is. You should know who he is. Let's see if you can tell me his name.
I'm sure Robin Taylor knows, because she just posted his speech.
Posted the speech. And what speech did she post? He gave many, many speeches. She probably posted that speech. What to a slave is Independence Day? What is to a slave is the 4th of July? That is what I'm sure that Robin Taylor posted. Dwa, dwa, dwa. This is that ancestor known as Frederick Douglass, an important ancestor. In fact, we live on 131st Street in Harlem between Adam Clayton Powell and Frederick Douglass Boulevard. So you had better understand that Black folk today are celebrating, are recognizing, are continuing to draw context from the words of this powerful orator and former enslaved African. So here's the fundamental question. Should Black folks celebrate July 4th? And I want to say something first of all. Notice that July 4th is not called Freedom Day. Notice that July 4th is known as what? Independence Day. It is the day that these powerful, moneyed, landed Europeans, Tom Who, gathered to proclaim their separation from the crown of Britain. That's what this day is. The day that separates the United States from the United Kingdom, from Britain. The day that says that they are colonies no more, that soon they will be considered states. That's what this day is. And let us ask even the Tamhu, even the European and all others of other ethnicities in the United States. Why should you celebrate that? Is there a reason that you should celebrate that? What does it mean for you that the United States became separate from Britain? It's very important that we recognize that this is Independence Day, not Freedom Day. It simply means that they can do what they like on their own. And you should know that on the day that was commemorated, July 4th, 1776, these powerful, moneyed Tamhu came together to talk about how they would remove themselves from Britain. And as they decided to remove themselves from Britain, I want you to be very clear about something. The majority of them actually enslaved Africans. That while they were talking about these lofty ideals of tranquility and freedom and peace, and the ability for men to be created equal and seen as equal, they also were holding our ancestors by chain. They were raping African women and men. They were absolutely acting with barbaric disregard for the fundamental humanity of African people. That's the contradiction here. As Public Enemy said, if you heard that we were celebrating on July 4th, that's a worldwide lie. There is no celebration for me on this day. But I think that it is important, as it is so important in the United States, to put it in further context. I want us to recognize something. We are in the period where people on the right side of the political spectrum and discourse in the United States have taken upon themselves to speak ill of a theory known as CRT, critical race theory. In fact, you're going to see average conservative Tamu and others who are even more confused actually bum rush those places where board of educations all throughout the country, particularly in the South, are being held. And they're arguing, you will not bring critical race theory to our children in elementary school. First of all, critical race theory is something that even college students, for the most part, are not familiar with. But it is something that has been discussed for at least the last 40 years in higher education. You will not find it in elementary schools. But the reason why these people are fighting this supposed boogeyman that they've created is because they don't want you to speak of the reality, the centrality of racism, of the subjugation of the African in the creation of the United States. They want to silence you, African, once more. They don't want you to recognize this fundamental belief. And I think it's very interesting that as they rail against critical race theory, if there is ever a day for us to recognize the central function of structural racism in the United States, it is on this day. So I'm pleased that they are waving their flags so that I can call them the hypocrites and the barbaric people that they are. Because if you are co-signing what these people did, you in fact are benefiting from that genocidal, barbaric, inhumane activities of your ancestors. You don't get to walk away from it when you're celebrating it. You can't say that the enslavement, the subjugation of the African, and the near annihilation of the Native American are things that happened but were relatively irrelevant when you then want to celebrate Independence Day. Let's say why. Let me go a little bit further. You should understand that these wealthy Europeans in these different colonies agreed on very little. Yes, there were some that believed that things like the Stamp Act and the tea tax, the stamp tax and the tea tax were things that were actually things that they did not agree with, that these were policies that affected them economically that were put in place by the British Crown. And there were some people who were very upset about it, but they agreed on very little else. How did they come together in this room in Philadelphia and decide that they were going to be unified against the British? What happened that unified them under this flag? Guess what they agreed on? I want you today to research Governor Dunmore, the governor of Virginia. Dunmore was one of the few governors that in this skirmish, in this disagreement, remained loyal to the British. And Dunmore, long before many of the other battles that you heard of, was galvanizing an army to fight on behalf of the British. And what did he decide to do? He said that he, representing the British, would have any African that fought along with him, any enslaved person that fought along with him, they would be free. So part of the context of this gathering of Tamu in this room is that they were terrified that their enslaved Africans would fight on behalf of the British for their freedom. That's what chased them into this hall in the Continental Congress. In fact, they tried to speak to it specifically, but they did not. You're not going to read anything that specifically, that overtly describes enslavement, but you will hear the words that the British are attempting to seed an insurrection. And that they are trying to also get the native at their door, and they say very negative things. They call them savages, to fight them. There were 27 things that they said they were angry about. And they said, these are the crimes of the British Crown. The last one refers to insurgents and the native people. I want you to understand that the insurrectionists, the insurgents they were referring to, was you, enslaved African. So one of the reasons why they were in this room is because they didn't want their enslaved people to rise up. That's what galvanized them. That's what unified them. That's what got them together to agree to separate from Britain. See, a lot of times we think that the history of the United States is something that occurs outside of the influence of the African. But you better understand that's the reason why they were there. The 4th of July, Independence Day, is about the continued enslavement of the African. Just research Governor Dunmore's proclamation. So you better understand that while I'm saying we're not celebrating, we're going to talk about it. Should Black people celebrate the 4th of July? Let me say this to you, hell no. But it should be used as a teachable moment so that our people don't continue to be confused. And you see that I mentioned our good, brave ancestor, Frederick Douglass. Well, at about 70 years, actually, what was it? 80 years, I guess it's 80 years. Yeah, about 80 years after the 4th of July, the Independence Day in 1776. Frederick Douglass then decides that he should actually respond to an invitation to speak of the importance of the 4th of July. And listen to the incisive, biting comments of Frederick Douglass on this day. He says, "I say it with a sad sense of the disparity between us. I am not included within the pale of this glorious anniversary. Your high independence only reveals the immeasurable distance between us. The blessings in which you this day rejoice are not enjoyed in common. The rich inheritance of justice, liberty, prosperity, and independence bequeathed by your fathers is shared by you, not by me. The sunlight that brought life and healing to you has brought stripes and death to me." Notice that he says stripes because he's playing on the flag and the stripes that are placed upon the back of the enslaved African. "This 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice, I must mourn. To drag a man in fetters into the grand illuminated temple of liberty and call upon him to join you in joyous anthems were inhumane mockery and sacrilegious irony." That is what he says in his speech. What to the slave is the 4th of July? And I'm going to say to you that those people who had asked him to come speak were probably sitting there flabbergasted. Can you imagine him sitting and excoriating a room of Europeans about their celebration of the 4th of July and saying, "Are you insulting me by asking me to speak about this?" I'm sure you would not have heard a pin drop in the room as he delivered this speech on July 5th, 1852. Well, I know that as we talk about Frederick Douglass, he should be someone that you recognize the hypocrisy, the great inhumane irony of this day. But he also understood that the African should be seen as an ancient soul, not one that would just draw back to a date just 80 years prior, but that our condition is one that was connected to the very movements of the sun. More on that in a minute. As we talk about this day, we have to also ask sometimes, is American patriotism anti-Black? More on how the enslaved were treated. How many of you are familiar with the song, The Star-Spangled Banner? Listen, if you're in the United States and you're not familiar with it, I don't know where you were growing up when it was taught to you. It was a song that almost became the national anthem. It is still considered one of the most important songs that connect the citizens of the United States to the creation of the United States. It was written by Francis Scott Key. And I'm going to say to you, so many of us know this song. So many of us know this song, often just called "Oh Say Can You See?" And it refers to war, the war for quote unquote independence. But so few of us have ever heard the third stanza, the third verse. Listen to what this Star Spangled Banner, which was originally called Defense of Fort McHenry is what it was. Fort McHenry is what it is. Listen to what the second half of the third verse says. It says, "No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. And the Star-Spangled Banner in triumph doth wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave." This is where the idea of the United States being the land of the free and the home of the brave come from. But can you hear that he is saying that those Africans that chose to side with their British would absolutely be killed, murdered? That's what this song also celebrates. The murder of the enslaved African who would join with the British simply so they could get their freedom. Africans were not more loyal to the British. They weren't loyal to either group. They simply knew that they needed to destroy their chains. But Francis Scott Key in this song that is still heralded and enjoyed as one of the most patriotic songs in the United States was saying that he celebrated the murder of those Africans who were fighting for their freedom. Did you hear that part? I know I didn't learn the second part of the third verse in school. I wonder why. I wonder why. So I want us to put these things in perspective as we speak today. And before I conclude, I want you to recognize that Frederick Douglass, as he was able to successfully rail against the 4th of July, there's something else that he involved himself in that you may not have known. As much as you know about Frederick Douglass, I'm going to say this is not new to those people who came to our Heb Kepru Wur or the OPET Festival I guess it's almost a month ago now, huh? That's about 3 weeks ago. I want you to recognize that he saw Africans as those ancient people, those dusky souls that gave civilization to the world, and now were being maligned and abused. That Frederick Douglass, in his incisive, in his biting analysis and critique of the United States, still said, well, yes, African, I know that you have been downtrodden, but it is you who gave civilization to the world. Frederick Douglass proclaimed that we should be here as people who are representing and recognizing and once more utilizing the traditions of our ancient African ancestors. Did you know that Frederick Douglass made a trip to what was then called Egypt? Did you know that? Did you know that he fought with Congress people saying we must recognize that the Kemetic people were African? Did you know that? Well, you know Brother Jabari is going to find it for you, right? Listen to part of what he says in his commencement address. By the way, recognize this is 2 years after his commentary on how enslaved people should view the 4th of July. Look at this, just literally like 2 years after and 7 days. Look at this. The fact that Egypt was one of the earliest abodes of learning and civilization is as firmly established as the everlasting hills. Greece and Rome, and through them Europe and America, have received their civilization from the ancient Egyptians. This fact is not denied by anybody. But Egypt is in Africa. Pity that it has not been in Europe or in Asia, or better still, in America. Another unhappy circumstance is that, and the ancient Egyptians were not white people, but were undoubtedly just about as dark in complexion as many in this country who are considered genuine Negroes. Frederick Douglass is hearkening is reminding all who care to hear that the Kemetic people are our ancestors. Frederick Douglass is one of those people in the late 1800s that is attempting to remind you of the traditions of our ancient ancestors, that are telling you that if you're celebrating July 4th, 1776, you must be crazy, but you better celebrate the traditions of our ancestors, because we are more ancient than the everlasting hills, because the African is that individual who remembers those things that gave us modern civilization. In fact, we are the foreparents of these civilizations, these Western civilizations that then sought to subjugate and annihilate us. As I read the speech by Frederick Douglass on what to a slave is the 4th of July, I hope that you'll also share with your family and friends that Frederick Douglass also recognized that we commit to you, that we, beloved, should be here, recognizing our connection to the ancient Kemetic people. I think if Frederick Douglass was here on July 4th, 2021, he'd be excited that we weren't firing off fireworks and eating oversaturated, nitrate-filled meat from carcasses of animals, but instead we were recognizing and celebrating that which is from ancient Africa. That I call forth the soul, the everlasting spirit of Frederick Douglass to join us in this place today, to recognize those contributions of our African ancestors as we continue to verify and reclaim their traditions and their names. That is what he called for us to do, and that is what you are doing here today, beloved. We know that you could be someplace else. We know that you could be relaxing. We know that you could be standing by the grill. We know that you could be waving a flag that represents enslavers, people who sought to destroy and to subjugate and to commodify us. This ain't our day, but it is a teachable moment for us to remember exactly the nature of Western society, the nature of the United States, the hypocrisy, the racism of the United States. But Frederick Douglass would agree that you shouldn't stay there. Frederick Douglass would say, remember who you are, African. Frederick Douglass would say that this is the day that should remind us that we are older than the flag, older than the Star-Spangled Banner, older than the chains, that we are those people that are everlastingly resilient, that we are those people who will return to our traditions, return to our names, return to our spiritual forms. Frederick Douglass is one of those Africans that would recognize and applaud the Shrine of Ma'at, and recognize and applaud what you are doing today, beloved. Light a candle for that dear ancestor. Remember that he tried to actually sound the clarion call for exactly what we are doing. And today, as you speak to your family on what undoubtedly will be a day off, make sure that you are teaching them about our story, and that you are lighting a candle for those ancestors who struggled to ensure that we would no longer be in chains, and also those ancestors that gave civilization to the world. I say the divine force in me greets the divine force in you. I'm so pleased that you're here with us. I'm honored that you're here with us. And I really hope that you found these words illustrative of what we should be understanding and doing on a day like today. Dwa, 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 so much for being here. Anika, can we do our final affirmation?
And I want to just give a shout out to all those people who gave donations. Again, thank you to Sinet Demetria, Dion Lives, Tracy Walker, Anjay Bryant, we see you in the house. Monique Colbert, thank you so much for always supporting us. Brittany Motley and Cleo Ford, our newest members. Please, thank you so much for supporting the Shrine and to keep us going. You know, as you've seen, it's been difficult, but we have been able to upgrade our technology.
A little bit of it, yeah, sure.
So this has all been very helpful, and we're so glad to see you here. And we just want to say honor and blessings to all of you. So if you can repeat after me, we're going to do the oldest prayer that you will find in the Rupu. I'm sorry, in the Rayu and Perth and Peru and Ger. That's the book of coming forth by day from night. So please join me in the Amasu. So we're going to stand in the pose of adoration. Again, left foot forward, left hand forward, right hand back, right foot back. And we're going to give as we are also receiving energy. So please repeat after me in our ancient language, and then we'll repeat it in English. Amasu in Pa and Ter.
Amasu in Pa and Ter.
Sauksu.
Sauksu.
Emetra.
Emetra.
In Pa and Ter.
In Pa and Ter.
Autu.
Autu.
Aura.
Aura.
Maketi Pa.
Maketi Pa.
Herura.
Herura.
Give yourself to the One Most High.
Give yourself to the One Most High.
Keep yourself daily for the divine.
Keep yourself daily for the divine.
And do it tomorrow.
And do it tomorrow.
Just as you did it today.
Just as you did it today.
Twa winter.
Twa winter.
Thank you to the divine, and thank you to all of you.
Thank you to all of you.
Shema Matep.
Shema Matep. And please, if you're able to donate, we would be so pleased. There's so much that we're trying to do as the Shrine of Ma'at grows and does big things. We absolutely, we are so pleased and honored by anything that you're able to give. So please go off and have a wonderful day, but remember our ancestors and speak truth to power, because it is so critically important for us to speak of what happened to us and also who we are and what we've actually done. Shema Matep, have an incredible, incredible day. So we'll see you soon.